Hello, welcome to Follow Everton. We've got Yann with me, but we've also got another special guest today. Yann, would you like to do the honours and bring in our friend Amy?
Oh, me?
Anytime today. Yeah.
Excellent. We're just bodging through this. Right. Give a big round warm welcome of everything and all that kind of malarkey to Amy. Are you ready, Amy? Give us a thumbs up and I'll bring you in. Hey. Hello.
So we're going to talk about, Amy, you've joined us. We're going to talk about some of the results in the Premier League this weekend and how they affect Everton. We've all been kind of dragged into looking at other teams' results again, which is a bit annoying because we just kind of wanted to watch Everton and focus on ourselves. But just with the way things are going, it's hard to keep away, isn't it, Amy? It's hard to not keep an eye on what other teams are doing.
They suck you in, and then I suppose it'd be nice for just one season to sit there nice and relaxed in the mid-table and not really have to worry. But I suppose it's more interesting as well, getting to watch us and worrying about everyone else, because I get to enjoy watching other football matches now as well, rather than just waiting on edge for Everton to play every weekend.
You've just been watching the Leeds game, Man United, and to be honest with you, I thought Man United would probably flump it again because I wasn't really impressed with them at Old Trafford. I really wasn't. But then they turned it around very late, Marcus Rashford and the 2 goals, and that's massive for us, isn't it?
It is huge for us, but obviously it was nice watching Leeds get beat, but I really thought that Leeds were going to get that result, and I did think overall, I'm not going to say they were the better team, but they were definitely up there against United. I wouldn't sit there and say United look world class against Leeds, and you'd assume that United being second in the table would look world class against the Leeds side, especially if you've just lost the manager as well. But it just happened to be that United ended up having the better luck in the final third. Rashford's a brilliant player. I don't care what anyone says. I really massively rate him.
No, I think it's great. Ian, Amy's right, though. For a team that's in the top 3, United don't look that great. I mean, it took them till 80 minutes to have that goal, and I didn't think they were going to score. I felt like they've got the big lump up front. Wout Weghorst, he looks like some sort of character someone's made on FIFA, and they've made him big and grumpy, but there's not a lot of quality there. And they got the result in the end, but Leeds don't really look like a team that are down at the bottom either. They look like they've got a motivation and something about them, and I think they'll turn over some of the other teams. I really do. What do you think?
I think that Leeds may have. I mean, there's been some dissatisfaction in the Leeds fan base with Jesse Marsch, which I can understand because he comes out with very contentious stuff, and I think it's very difficult to reconcile for English football fans the way that the Americans view the game, because maybe we're very in the same way that Evertonians are prone to being insular and like, we go the game, we walk the match, and all that kind of stuff. There's a similar thing with England and Europe being Americans are outsiders, and I think that maybe they got rid of him prematurely because they had a bad run of games, and they're trying to rescue that so they're not embroiled in this. But what they then end up doing is free falling, like when we've had. In the past, when we've had caretaker managers and Dunk step in and all this kind of stuff, and you just go, we don't know what we're doing. And maybe that rubs off on the team. And I think you're right about United, that they're sort of carrying that high. I mean, did you guys see anything? Is there any truth in the rumours online that Ten Hag might be already out the door because they're trying to line up another manager for United? Well, I mean, even that's being said, there's got to be some dissatisfaction.
It'd make no sense for them to do it again. This is the best they're doing in the past couple of years anyway. Now, second in the table, obviously, they've just gone down to third with City winning here. But, why would they replace him right now? Unless he's not happy there. But I've never really got the whole issue with the Glazers not being a United fan. I can't really get as emotive as they do over it. But maybe it is something to do with the ownership not being too happy with what he's pulling out. But from what I've seen from United fans, I know they absolutely love him.
Yeah, and that's one of our viewers. Good evening. Agrees with you, saying nonsense. The rumour's not true. United fans are made up with him. Mark's talking about Leeds collapsing after 75 minutes. That does seem to be a bit of a theme. Conceding all their goals very late in games. Maybe the high intensity is something that they can't cope with.
Yeah,
because they don't have the players like who is it they got rid of?
Rafinha.
Yeah, Rafinha. Yeah, it was him. Now he was really pivotal in that midfield, allowing Leeds to press and create that threat where they were constantly like a little yappy dog snapping at everything. And you know, without that sort of element, someone's got to pick up the slack. But all it takes, as we've seen as Evertonians, like Anthony Gordon or Damari Gray in the past when we've criticised them, which could be down to the tactics and management, is it takes that one weak link. And then before you know it, you've got two players that have overtaken one player, and then they can swarm the midfield and defence and just overrun it. And yeah, so what I would say is there's early signs from Leeds that, you know, when we were talking about getting red cards and conceding goals late and just collapsing, there's early signs from Leeds there that they're going to be in a struggle.
Do you think they could go back for Bielsa, or has that ship completely sailed?
I did see something the other day that said the ship has sailed. He doesn't want to go back there. But imagine if they did go back for him. I don't know if do they need him right now on that kind of high intensity, we'll call it, management, or I don't know.
Well, in the same way that our kit man went out and buy socks, they'll have to rush out and buy some more buckets.
Just some more comments here. Robbie saying good afternoon, boys. Yeah. If Amy is a female, the first female actually to come on the channel in 2 years. Nikki saying cool. She seems to be impressed that Amy's on here. And Barry saying, and Amy. David saying, evening, gang. Paul saying, Dan looks a bit different. Dan's gone. You won't be seeing Dan on here again. Dan's officially gone. And we're going to have some more guests on here like Amy from now on.
Ryan, it's now the appropriate time to sort of explain that, you know, we're not going to go into massive details because it's not about us and it's not about Dan and it's about the channel. Dan just decided that he wanted to go out and do his own thing. And we genuinely wish him all the best and hope that he does that. And if he's doing what he feels right, fair play to him. There's no animosity there. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, wish him the very best. People have obviously been asking where he is. He's not coming back on the stream. He's decided to leave. But this actually gives a really good opportunity to the likes of Amy to come on and give a more diverse set of opinions. So we can have more people on, and we are currently recruiting people. Yann is currently in the process of trying to find the right people to come on. And we definitely have always said we wanted a lady to come on. And I think it could be the first. No, but to be more diverse as well. You're not just on here because you're a lady, but I think we'll end up seeing first of many girls on here.
Right, but we were just saying, obviously, we've got to be more reflective of Everton fan base, the attendance at the games, the fact that we've got a Women's Super League, Premier League, you know, to the top women's team. We've also got more people who are applying as well. We're trying to create more content that covers everything Everton. I mean, I'm not going to name any names. It's not fair to do that, and it's not about shame and all that. But you know, we are looking for people to flesh out the channel, to cover more stuff, to cover everything from like the under whatevers, the women's team, you know, news things, general chat midweek, all this kind of stuff. Because we know that we're a community, and especially in the wake of COVID and working from home and stuff. And it's about building that connection, especially for people that can't go to the game regularly and don't always have that, you know, the match day experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but also I want to say, you know, it's clearly it's not an instance of just purely just positive discrimination. Yeah, love. 2-0.
Yeah. Apparently Luca Dean is not good. What's your mum saying?
I've only just seen Digby get his yellow card.
Oh, Amy, are you got it in the background? What? So we just establish how far behind you are, or what you're up to?
I think I'm a solid 90 seconds behind. Not that I'm not watching on a stream. I completely pay for my Sky Sports entirely.
Yeah, it's through like an app or something. But basically,
Sky Go. It's called Yann. It's called Sky Go. It's the official Sky app.
I just got a call, I swear.
What we would like to try and branch out at, just if you're watching this back, I know we get a lot of viewers watching these videos back. We want to do something maybe before games as well, literally in the build-up to kickoff, where we release the team news more consistently. And also, if people are just sat around on a Saturday and maybe Everton aren't playing or Everton are playing, just have like a football sort of, what is it called? Football Focus, is it? It's not Football Focus. It's the live score one.
Gillette Loud Soccer Saturday.
Yeah, our own little bit of a Soccer Saturday type thing where we'll all have the same stream here. We'll send you where you need to watch, or we could all watch the one on BBC. and we'll react to all the scores and as they coming in. So that's a couple of
Icky
things.
Gundog scored.
Gundogan.
Yeah, I think. But it keeps focusing on Haaland, as in, why has he not scored 7 already in the match? I don't know. But what I was just saying before, it's not just purely positive discrimination, because Amy was talking about she's got to watch the matches so she can follow on her ACCA.
Well, speaking of games then, okay. Keeping it semi-serious here. We did speak about this off camera, but just because there's 40 people watching now, I think it's probably best just to go over again. We'll probably have a few hundred watching this back before tomorrow. West Ham and Chelsea. Again, Amy, I'm going to ask you about this. Chelsea spent 600 million, can't buy a win. Graham Potter is probably a name that the players aren't thinking this guy is that big of a name. Maybe, do you think that it might be a bit of a lack of respect? Or do you think they just need time? What do you put that down to? Why they're not getting results?
Both, in it. Like, I think obviously they've seen him come from. He did brilliantly with Brighton, and they've watched him come back, and they can have some level of respect for him. But he's not your Tuchels, he's not your Peps. I'm not going to mention the other one who is in the upper teams. You know what I'm talking about. I won't mention him. But he's not massively on your list of, you know, like people who aren't football fans could list you some Premier League managers. Yeah. He wouldn't be first on your list. He wouldn't be first on your international lists either. And I just think it's going to take a bit of time for the Chelsea squad themselves to get used to his style of playing and get used to respecting him a bit. But obviously 600 million players, that's going to take some time for them to gel as a squad as well.
Yeah,
I do see a lot of Chelsea fans not happy with the way some of their bigger names are playing at the minute as well. So it could be to do with Potter's style of play doesn't work with those players, as well as they're not too enamoured by playing under him right now as well. I think when you go from Tuchel to Potter, it's going to take a minute to get used to that new style of management, isn't it, really?
They absolutely do need time. And as Jason points out here, in the game we're talking about where they drew with West Ham, Chelsea should have got a penalty. It was a clear handball. Like, I mean, he's looking at the ball. I can't even describe it that much, but it was blatant. And ultimately, Chelsea should have got the penalty. West Ham survived. They had a goal ruled out for a marginal offside off a header. West Ham get the point. We could have done without that happening, because that moves them a point away from us. But Yann, it was daylight robbery, wasn't it, with the handball decision?
Yes, that's what I was literally just about to say, because Jason's just said Chelsea should have got a penalty. What rubbish weekend for VAR, right? The fact that, I can't remember who it was, but he goes to ground. You don't have to put your hand down to save yourself. And we've had those decisions go against us, right? And I just think it's clear handball for a shot on target, and they decide not to give that. Now, there's been, in my mind, VAR is there to improve the game and to improve the accuracy and veracity and the equity of decisions that are made. Now, if you're still getting controversy on VAR not being able to do things, change it. Like, for instance, Lemina's second yellow card, and Neves comes out to say, honestly, it was just because he was the third guy. He didn't even get the chance to say anything, second yellow. And it seems that there is bias, that referees don't understand the atmosphere of a game. That, for instance, if a player is through on goal and they're level and it's the last 5 minutes, why is he going to give up the opportunity to shoot when he's one-on-one against the keeper? Why is he going to go down? Oh, then the ref thinks overly cynically, oh, he's just going down for a penalty. No, he's not. He's been fouled. And it's just, and their lack of understanding of a flow of a game is just appalling sometimes. So my thought is an independent external body that conduct VAR. If they then need to get interfere, or they then adjudge a referee's performance, it results in their recommendation for PGMOL officials to be retrained, demoted, suspended, or expelled. Because if the referee is not capable of refereeing a match, then they shouldn't. That's my opinion on it.
How long were they trained in VAR? Like, before VAR became a thing, how many seasons did they spend training them in the technology and how the technology works? Because it doesn't look like they've had all that much training going on, or are they just that incompetent? Is that?
I think most of them are like ex-Premier League managers, aren't ex-Premier League referees. and
some of them are
linesmen and
still
stuff.
some of them are still acting referees where they then make these decisions. And if there's enough of a case to say, look, you've shown favoritism, or you've not judged it impartially, or you've made a decision that's clearly wrong. Oh, but we can't interfere because it's a second yellow. Nonsense. Change it and make sure that the right decision being made is being made.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Sorry,
I mean, it was, to be fair, I mean, it was one of the worst weekends for VAR decisions across the board.
And there's a penalty for City at the City ground. And high and left, and it's gone in. It's 3-0.
We'll talk about that in a minute, because I mean, could Villa be dragged in? I mean, while that game's going on, could Villa be dragged into it? I mean,
unfortunately, they're not fortunately for them, they're not fielding 10 outfield players that are all named Luca Dean. So I think that they've got some. Don't know. What are your thoughts, Amy?
I think the bottom of the Prem is actually anyone's game right now, isn't it? Like, it's pretty close. So it really could just go by if a few of us very low down start doing better and getting decent results, like Wolves are doing right now, and they're kind of climbing up slowly but surely. Villa and teams like that keep dropping points. They are gonna maybe come down, but I don't see them ending up in that bottom three.
Yeah, this is exactly right, what Amy said here. Christopher, good evening. He's saying it's going to be so close. There's at least 9 teams there. And one of them, you'd probably say, would be Crystal Palace, perhaps, who haven't won in 5, who got a lucky draw yesterday against Brighton. Disappointing because they did take the lead, Brighton, but Palace got quite a fluky goal. I believe it was James Tompkins. Equalising for Crystal Palace. They could be dragged into it.
You don't seem to think that Wolves are going to be dragged into it, but you say they score goals quite a lot. While that may be true, they've also got what's their goal difference? -14, and ours is -12. You know, and they're only 5 points ahead of us, but they've played a game extra. So I don't think it's even fair to say, by the way, hello to Luke, just come on. Evening, chaps and ladies from School of Science. Yeah, Nicky's quite rightly said anyone from 12th down could go down. And I think, yeah, anyone 10th down, live events, just including Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say Liverpool could go down, but I think let's not talk about Liverpool until we talk about the match.
One thing that I really caught from watching the games this weekend, and purely from a perspective of supporting every team that was playing someone who was down at the bottom, so basically United, etc., was the games weren't very open. They were quite difficult for teams. It didn't look like there was a lot of goals. I mean, even just looking at the results, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 2-0. Apart from Leicester and Spurs, there were tight games. There's not a lot between the teams. This season, for me, someone good is going to get relegated. Even Bournemouth, just talking about Bournemouth, Newcastle, Bournemouth weren't that bad. They had good shape. They had good discipline. On another day, they would have won that game because they created chances against Newcastle, but there was nothing between them.
But they played Anthony Gordon. Sorry. Yeah.
What'd you say? Fuck him.
But they played Anthony Gordon.
He's still sliding through the Vitality right now. I think he's only just stopped this morning, from what I heard.
He's terrible.
Oh God. Did any of you guys watch any of the highlights of the Leicester Spurs game?
I caught highlights of it.
Can you
I couldn't believe it. They just didn't stop. Like, it was absolutely insane. I think it's since they've said they're not taking Conte on next season. I think Spurs have just gone soundly. Why should we carry on being as, I'm not gonna say brilliant because I don't back them as a brilliant side. They're a good side, but I just don't know what happened to them yesterday at all.
Well, Richarlison and Danjuma can't get any minutes. You think both of them would probably be starting at least? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If Tottenham miss out on top 4, you could arguably say it was just a complete waste of both of them going there, not to play, not even to win a trophy, not to get top 4. Richarlison hasn't actually scored for Spurs. But Leicester, obviously, they didn't sack Rodgers, did they? They never sacked him, did they? Or am I missing something here? Brendan Rodgers didn't get sacked by Leicester.
Was it a mutual termination or something?
I don't. Am I just being really ignorant here? I don't think they sacked him.
I tell you
No,
what, Ryan.
I don't think they sacked him, and he's a quality manager, Brendan Rodgers. There's absolutely no two ways about it.
Why don't you go and check that out? But I do want to say something, and I don't want to be opportunistic, and I don't want to be distasteful, but there is something that's completely not football related that I would just like to mention, if that's okay, right? And
Yeah,
don't
he is
worry,
still manager.
It's not. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about. Never mind. One thing I do want to mention is, very sadly, today is the 30th anniversary of the death of Jamie Bolger. And he was a month shy of his 4th birthday. And I've seen on social media that there are calls for Liverpool fans to sort of have banners or to have a minute's silence or a minute's applause in the 30th minute. And all I will say is, as much as I love football for my own reasons and because of my dad, and we all do, some things are bigger than a game. Of essentially what boils down to hired mercenaries for whatever the length of their contract is. And my heart goes out to his parents that have to live the rest of their lives without their little boy. And what I implore, if anyone's watching this, any Everton fans who go to the away game, is I implore, and I trust that we will, respect that and respect whatever Liverpool Football Club choose to do at Anfield tomorrow to honour his memory and to give a bit of strength to his parents, because I can't imagine it. There's no words. It's completely unnatural for parents to lose their children, and especially in such a horrific way. And it's something that hopefully demonstrates the unity of our city in the wake of. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just I just feel the need to say that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Let's see if Liverpool do something for that tomorrow. Jonathan Roskin saying, welcome, Amy.
Jonathan.
Back to football then, I guess.
Yeah.
Fulham Forest. Fulham look brilliant, don't they? Willian rolling back the ears. Forest kind of on a good run of form, Amy. They did pull away. But maybe that brings them back down to reality a little bit with a 2-0 loss.
Yeah, I think I don't even see them going down this season, to be fair.
Well said, Jan.
I think they're going to do pretty well, which I don't mind. I'm quite happy to see that. I like seeing teams come up and stay up. That's what you want to see, don't you, I suppose? Fulham are doing absolutely wonderfully as well, and I love that. Like, I'm looking now at the top 10 teams, and there's some teams up there that you wouldn't massively expect to be up there either, and I think that's quite interesting as a general football fan when you're not worrying about us getting going down. That it's nice to see those kind of teams doing so well up there, teams that don't usually sit up in your European fighting spaces, but they are fighting for it.
Brentford.
Bless them. I love that. I love it.
I was worried they weren't going to be able to replace, because I thought last season Ericsson was pivotal for them.
Yeah.
And I thought that without him, I hold my hands up and say, I was wrong. Mea culpa. Not mea culpa.
We actually had a contract offer on the table for Christian Eriksen at one point, but he chose to go to United.
There was a few of us that were going in for him, weren't there?
There was quite a few.
United had a lot of pennies on the table for it, didn't they? I think he's on a very, very, very high wage with him anyway.
Are you not just happy that Fulham are up in the Premier League, so that every game that they've got that's televised, they'll always pan to that statue of Michael Jackson?
I do need to make it Craven Cottage as well. Everybody says that you should go. It's a proper football stadium, so the longer they stay up and the longer we stay up, more chance we have of visiting Craven Cottage as well.
My dad pointed out that it's similar to it's an Archibald Leach design in the same way that Goodison is with the stanchions and the cross beams and stuff. But also, he always used to say that going to Fulham, although there's a certain air in different geographical locations, Fulham's a very family club when you go there. It's very, in the same way that you did the difference between going to Millwall and Walton Hall Park to watch the women, that's very sort of family orientated. And he said that's true of Fulham. So, they're credit to the league. And, I look back to days when they had like Lewis Morte and I don't know.
He was a former Everton assistant manager, and Simon Davis and Papa Diop. To be fair, look, I think the reason we quite like them is because Fulham, Brentford, Brighton, they've never done
Underdogs.
anything to us. You know, they've
Yeah.
never done anything to us to our fans. There's not really any rivalry there. They're small clubs. Would it be fair to say they're all
It's small
clubs?
clubs fighting
We're
for
doing
those
well.
bigger club spaces in it, and I love me an underdog. Love me a nice little success story like that. Go on, enjoy
Let me
yourself.
ask you a question. Do you have a second team in the Premier League that you have like a soft spot for, or you kind of don't? I mean, obviously you said Fulham or Brentford, but I'm talking more like mainstays, because what I will just say is throughout my life I've always seemed to have friends who've been, especially living down south for about 10 years, that have been Arsenal fans, and I really admire Arsenal. I like them, and I don't have any animosity. And it's nothing to do with Arteta. Even before then, I just thought they've done things in the right way. And putting aside the sort of cronkies, I've thought that they play good football. They strive to play good football, and they seem to do things the right way that football clubs should do. They have an obligation to. I don't know how you feel about it.
I think I have more teams that I have no real reason for disliking than I have no real
Newcastle.
reason for liking. Yeah, Newcastle. They have no reason to dislike us. So no, I don't like you because you don't like us. Spurs, can't stand them. They just irritate me.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
you're going to hate me for this. It sounds real glory hunting. It's not, I swear. My best mate's a City fan, City season ticket holder. So I always enjoy seeing them do well. You know, when everyone was laughing at them the other day because of the issues with the Premier League and the charges, I was the only person in the world who was like, oh, I feel quite bad for him. I hope it doesn't end too terribly. So I do always watch out for him. When they signed Haaland and that, I was really excited to watch him play.
We nearly signed him.
I don't have any smaller teams because I'm too busy watching Everton struggle. I don't want to watch another team struggle and care about them.
Don't get me wrong. Like, the Blues has just said it couldn't never have a second team in the Premier League. I don't have a second team in that regard. It's just I'd much rather, out of Arsenal, City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle, if anyone's going to win the league out of those, knowing that we're not gonna, Arsenal, yeah, go on. That's just my sort of.
In fairness, though, what you're saying about Man City, I'll be honest with you, they've been my sort of second team for a few years purely because of the rivalry with Liverpool. And that's the only reason, really, although they do play great football. Yeah, I mean, I've had to support Man City reluctantly because of that. And I don't really mind Arsenal. I've got nothing against Arsenal. I've really started to dislike Newcastle and Spurs. I think those two have really started to get, particularly Tottenham, are getting on my wick with what they did in the window. Yeah. But Brighton, Fulham, Brentford, I like all three of those teams. Chelsea, I'm apathetic towards. Villa, I don't know. Palace, not interested in. Leicester have got some dickhead fans from what I've seen before. No feelings towards Forest or Wolves. Bournemouth and Southampton, they just always seem to a bit of a bogey team for us, Bournemouth. Certainly away from home.
I quite like Brentford. I like Thomas Frank's little story, you know, when they were all coming up and he was singing all the songs of them all and all that. And I just love that. That's what football actually should be about, shouldn't it? It should be about caring about a team and caring about your fans. And I thought that was nice. Thought it was cute.
Oh, hang on a second. Who's this dickhead? For anyone who doesn't know, that is Mabsy. There we go. Sorry, accidental there, Jetrix. But okay, nice to know your brother's a Tottenham fan. Sort him out.
Just to let you know, straight after this stream, at 6 p.m, Stevie is doing a stream talking about the Anfield Derby with a Liverpool fan who's coming on to guest. I don't know whether Yann, you want to go on that and give this guy a bit of a debate and have a bit of. I'm going to sit and watch it. I'm quite excited. So, 6 o'clock with Stevie. Make sure you stick around for that straight after the stream. And we've got a Liverpool fan on that. Hopefully, we'll be getting a little bit terrored, but I think he's quite a nice guy. The Liverpool fan coming on. So,
the thing is, if you're genuine fans, like I don't know, would you ever? Oh, here's a question then. Forgive it. It's not just gendered. So please tell me to shove it up my ass or something, Amy. Would you ever date a red fan, like a Liverpool fan?
Been there, done that. Awful time. Never again. Never again in my life.
Oh.
We
Right.
used
So
to
can
have
I ask a question?
merger over Rafa Benitez, and that was as good as it went.
Right. Let me ask a more footballing question, a more professional one for the channel then. Right. Not to disrespect Seamus Coleman, been a long-time servant of the club, but unfortunately nobody can play forever.
Yeah.
Thoughts on his replacement? Because my thinking is we should we should find the money and put a bid in for Tariq Lamptey.
He's a bit small, isn't he, as a right back? I think that's what's kept him out of the Brentford team.
And we all forgetting about the love of my life, Nathan Patterson. Like, please don't forget him. He seems very injury prone, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's.
In terms of an actual solid replacement, I don't know. Lamptey's a good suggestion. I wouldn't think he'd ever. Would he fit in with an Everton style of play?
He's
But I
different
suppose
to
there's
Patterson.
such a thing right now with Dyche and his style of play. Maybe he would seem to fit in. We need a strong right back who can play as a full back. I'd say. I think that's how Dyche is going right now, because Mykolenko played brilliantly as a full back rather than a wing back this time round. If we're not pushing to have our defenders also being attackers as well, you know, like getting up those wings and trying to get the balls across and their assists in and stuff like that, then Lamptey he's exciting, isn't he? I suppose it's an exciting prospect.
Just on that, if that's okay, if I come in there, I think that it's easy to find fullbacks who are good defenders, but it's very hard to find fullbacks who are good defenders and good attackers. And I think that's why Sean Dyche has always he's never really played with wing backs, because he's always had a small budget and he's always had to find your broody sort of 6 foot plus fullback character. But I think we want one of each. I think we need in the summer a left back who can attack. I want to see. I've got no problem with Mykolenko as a squad player or for certain games. I'd like us to bring in a proper left back who can attack as well and cross the ball and hold the width, because I think he likes us certainly when he plays a 4-4-2. Sean Dyche, he has his wingers kind of tuck inside. They have to do a lot of defensive work as well. And again, a right back, if Coleman does retire, actually, I think we'll offer him another year if we stay up. I think he's fit enough to do it. I want to see Nathan Patterson be that attacking right back, develop, and maybe bring in, if Coleman does retire, someone who's 28, 29, experienced, right back, who's solid, you know, and just have him there and try and balance the defence up, because I think we've got too many centre halves as well. Get rid of Mina, Holgate, and Keane can go, and bring Branthwaite back in.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory here.
Brilliantly as well.
Sorry, conspiracy theory here. Liveovitz just said, don't you find it strange that Lampard created a squad ideal for Dyche? I just think that maybe Dyche was sort of sliding doors, serendipity, that we managed to pair up at the right time, because I think he might have gone to Leeds if we'd stuck with Lampard or got someone else, he'd have been a good man for Leeds. Because I'm not saying I don't think he's a Sam Allardyce mould, because he got Burnley up and you know, he might not be the top caliber, but we're only basing that on the teams that he's managed. I mean, I think he could really shape Everton up to go back to that ethos of run hard, give it your everything. If you're not collapsing at the end of that 90 minutes, you haven't given everything.
Yeah. I think after Arsenal, I think that was the exact way it looked, didn't it? Like, even right up until they added those 6 minutes on, I had my timer set on my phone waiting for it to go off. And we were, even the likes of Coleman, who I will hold my hands up and say I was nervous about him playing again this season with how old he's getting. I know he's not ancient, obviously, but in terms of footballing age, he is quite old now, and I didn't know
34.
if he did have it in him, but he does. Like, he's not struggling at all by the looks of things. Like, he does seem to be able to go that full 90 minutes and keep on with the strength and the power and the pushing that we do expect as Everton fans. And I think that's what we need out of all of our back four at the minute. And I'm not entirely sure that Mykolenko has that in him as a regular. starter either. I think maybe if we can get even Godfrey in on the left, he can play on the left. So maybe if we want those attacking wing backs in, Godfrey and Patterson might just be able to get away with that for the rest of the season.
I think that was going to take it. Personally, I think we can't expect the world out of Mykolenko straight away because he's been with us about a year.
Yeah. Was he a Rafa signing? He was, wasn't he?
But he's come from the Ukrainian league. We're not talking about Championship. We're not talking about French or German or Spanish or Italian league or even Portuguese or Dutch. You know, we're on about a league where 2-3 teams have the best players, but you look at their first teams and they're all from the same country, the same league, the same youth. Yeah, Jeterick said we've got him last January. We've had him a year. And I'd rather have a left back that can defend and can't go forward than one that can go forward and can't defend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what your defenders are there for, aren't they? They're there to defend.
Yeah.
I think the Premier
Although
League
I do miss Luca Dean.
expectation now, done it, that we should all be able to push forward when we need to push forward and stuff. I think that's where some of us are getting left behind as well. Just can't really keep up with that attacking mentality and all the rest of them are doing right now. But I think it's all going okay so far right now. I think those players that we do have under Deitch, the way he's got them playing, could do everything he wants them to do. And he said that himself, and he's kept worse squads up. So, fingers crossed.
Thanks, Amy. There's some comments here. Should we read some comments before we wrap things up? Yeah. And just finally on what Amy says, I liked Luca Dean because he could cross a ball with his left foot onto someone's head. I actually really valued that. But, yeah, he was a bit exposed. And I think we didn't have a defensive midfielder, an out-and-out defensive midfielder who could cover that gap when he went forward. And I think now, in theory, we should have someone who should be able to protect the fullback so they can get forward. It's just that Mykolenko isn't the answer. He's certainly not a long-term attacking fullback. But as Dave points out, he did very well last week against a very dangerous winger in Bukayo Saka.
I'll never forgive Dean for when Villa played us. I think it was last season at Goodison, and he'd given all this, and there might have been some truth to it with what happened with Benitez. But I was like, toutes les réponses, ta gueule. Basically, oh, you've got all the answers, shut your mouth. And then he whipped the corner in, and they scored. I was like,
did he actually say that?
No, I shouted that to him because I've got a loud voice, you know.
What did you say to him?
Toutes les réponses, ta gueule. Basically, oh, you've got all the answers, shut your mouth.
Did he see it? Did he hear it, do you think?
Yeah, he turned.
Twat.
Anyway.
Have you got any anything else you want to talk about? I mean, do you want to give us your thoughts on the derby quickly, Amy, before we wrap things up? Because we've got another. By the way, very quickly, the 60 people watching at 6 o'clock on Follow Everton on this channel. There is another stream with Stevie. So before then, we're wrapping up in 5 minutes. Go to the toilet, go and get a beer, go and get a glass of water, do what you want to do, and come back. We've got a Liverpool fan on Follow Everton. Hopefully, he will get terrored. I'll make sure of it. I wonder whether Yann's going to stick his head in this stream and make sure this guy doesn't get away scot-free. But come and join us if you've enjoyed it and you've got nothing better to do, which you haven't. I know you haven't. None of us have got anything better to do. Come and watch this. And have you enjoyed? Let us know if you've enjoyed listening to Amy. Let us know. Put in the comments. Have you enjoyed Amy? She hasn't done any face paint. She's not pretended to have a boner live on stream. She's just a normal person that's joined us for this. And I hope you've enjoyed it.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was when I was having my 2-minute panic attack before you made me go live. So thanks. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Should we ask you about the Liverpool game then very quickly?
Yeah, prediction.
It's the same both times. It happens every year, and I always get horrifically nervous. And we are bang on in the exact same form right now. I checked before. We've had 1 win each, 1 draw, 3 losses. Our win and our draw was against much better teams than theirs was. So I'm a terrible jinx though. Anyone who follows me will know this. Every time I say anything good about us, the opposite happens. So if I reverse psychology and I say it's going to be 0-0 or it's going to be 1-0 then,
Yeah.
we might actually get a result out of it. But I'm not. I'd have been more nervous if we were going in with Frank, I think. So
Yeah.
after the
Liability.
Arsenal game as well, we did well against what is technically the best team in the league right now, the top of the league. We beat them. We did well. We were strong. Liverpool aren't at the best right now. We could run through that midfield if we were on our game enough. So keep our fingers crossed. Hope the best. Manifest. If you're religious, pray.
Just before we finish with Yann's poem, if that's okay, I would just want to come in. Amy has spoke very good sense. Liverpool are off the rails, particularly away from home. They're not playing with the same intensity and speed in their game. The signings they've made to replace the players who are injured and very good, i.e. Diaz and Jota, have not played well. Van Dijk is injured. But then again, Calvert-Lewin's injured. Yeah, Thiago. But actually, I wouldn't mind Thiago playing against our aggressive midfield because I think he's quite slow and laboured, wants loads of touches and stuff. But I think we've got a good chance. They're woefully out of form. We've got to get at least a point. Yann, you've got your book. By the way, everyone's enjoyed listening to you, Amy. They're all they're all commenting. Absolutely loads of people. Richo, Nikki, Dave, etc. Many more.
So we've just having comments on our beards and your nails and excellent. Look, there's something for everybody on this channel. Excellent.
Great.
Right. So okay. Don't leave me on my own because you know I'm a little bit of a soft cheese at the moment. But I'll read this. It's my poem for the derby. It's not quite as visceral and angry as the one, the last one. But here we go. Come on, you Blues, there's never been a better time. All together now, a smash and grab, organised crime. Their house, our rules. Stand tall, be bold. Right or wrong that's existed since I was 12 years old. They stole the bird and flagpole, tried to up the rent. You're holding nothing. Jog on, get bent. Sliding down the table as we climb our way up. Neither team in Merseyside is bringing home a cup, but we could overtake you, though that claim is pretty rash. The last time, Winslow upstairs for the shaving of the tash. You're aging, fading, falling off. It seems all doom and gloom. I've half a mind to say Klopp's lost the dressing room. But Dice come into Goodison and lit a mighty rocket. Don't be shocked when, man for man, we've got you in our pocket. Anti-football is the cry, and no doubt the moaning junk will be repeating this on Tuesday when we've got you screaming, Uncle. It's not about the beauty when you're in the toffee cult. It's all about the effort and the full-time result. We've banned the snoods and scarves, brought the socks in on the cheap. No more softly, softly, boys. Keep running till the bleep. Bin the tinnies, don the shinnies. Hey up, here's the catch. Work as hard at training as you should all through the match. Spin the wheel of fortune. Come on down and claim your prize. Live on for eternity as heroes in our eyes. Chase them down, don't give an inch, cover every gap. Stand your ground, hold the line, block the overlap. Let it flow, some give and go. A quick counter-attack. Have faith in those around you. Don't just pass across the back. We'll have the red men cowering as the cop begins to groan. Our die-hard fans ecstatic. They're staring at a phone. We'll hear the shouts of victory ring out in Stanley Park as they're limping back to Arkles, licking wounds in the dark. We'll have the run of Merseyside as they're jumping into cars, catching flights to Norway. The city's all ours. Bring the fight, let's do it right. Roll on Monday night. Every Evertonian knows. Cop-Eiter.
Gobshite. Sorry.
Very good. Very good. You get me excited now. Final comments then. Ryan says it's been a brilliant live stream. Thank you, Ryan. The Blues is saying a magnificent beard, I must say. Amy,
Thank
also
you.
for next time, if you do like to come on, you can actually put your Twitter handle as your name. You can edit that so people can find you instead of just your name because they'll know it's Amy. James has called you the people's poet, Yann?
I do have to say, by the way, and I didn't tweet because at the time I was like a lot of personal stuff. But at the end of last year, I was invited to Rainbow Toffee's awards evening, and they did give me an award for Poet of the Year. I mean, I think I've been the only poet consistently throughout the year, but I very much love the appreciation because I played for
Rainbow Toffee's Poet of the Year. And the other entrance was myself, with my wonderful one, Everton. We've never played so shitely. Everton, you know we're gonna lose. I mean, that's a little bit more of a vocal. But sorry, Ian.
That's right.
Sorry,
right.
mate. Sorry, mate.
Friend.
Yeah, so
friend.
just like to announce winner of Poet of the Year, Everton Rainbow Toffees edition, Yann Delph in the middle over there. And we'll take applicants for Follow Everton Poet of the Year. If you want to submit your poem, send it to Yann for our judgment. Look, I love this. My own girlfriend is saying, Amy and Yann, my faves, whilst I literally sit on the stream.
One day you're going to come home and it's going to be me on your couch with the cats, with Jazz, and that's it. You're never going to get a look in.
Very
You've
funny.
got to bear in mind, though, me and Jazz are related.
Yeah, does Amy know that?
Yeah, cousins. I know that.
Okay, cool.
She's technically your second cousin, and your dad was her first cousin once removed. That's it's a slight bit
very
of
scientific. Though.
Thanks, 23andMe.
Ancestry.Ryan.
Right. So, what do people need to do if they want to join? If they want to join the channel.
What people need to do is be knowledgeable, be hilarious, and be better than
The Toffees.
On Twitter, Yandalf at Yandalf1. Drop me a message, send me your email address, and I'll send you all the information so that you know what we're looking for and how you can sort of fit in and that. We are trying to grow the channel, do more content, cover everything. But yeah, we're just looking for lovely people who aren't going to get sort of butthurt when I tell them that you're wrong, and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
I know Amy's not had an argument with anyone yet. We need to have a post match with Amy on and maybe Jeff, so she can have an argument with Jeff. Or Mabs. Chris Peacock says awesome show. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Chris, please.
Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. I hope Amy will be back again on a future stream. We'll have a chat with her. She'll put her terms forward by her agent. We'll put our offer in, writing it down as we speak. 1p per stream. But don't forget.
Ala Chelsea will be doing an 8-year contract to get our way around financial fair play.
Yeah. It's 2p per stream on my side of things as well, so we'll work that out between our agents.
Elon Musk is the hard negotiator for Twitter.
Well, regarding Elon Musk and all his support for people, then I'll avoid making some joke about your tuppence for the stream.
Let's not. Elon was all blocked.
Yann, are you going to go on the stream at 6 o'clock with Stevie? Because we've got to wrap this up.
Well, seeing as this is about the 4th time you've asked me, do I have a chance? Do I have a choice there, boss?
No. I'm asking you live to go on it.
Okay, all right.
I'll
let them get warmed up, and I'll let them fluff each other, and then I will sort of come in as all right.
Yeah, you stick your head in and say, no, I don't agree with you. You're a Liverpool fan. You're wrong automatically. Right, guys. Thank you very much. Join us at 6 o'clock on this channel. Make sure you watch it. I know there's 63 people watching. Also hit like and subscribe. Thank you very much, Ian, Yandelf, and thank you very much, Amy, for joining us to look at the weekend's results and have a bit of a chit chat with an Everton perspective. It's been very nice. See you all soon. Thank you.